Welcome back to the Michael Vincent Podcast. We have an excellent episode today. I want to talk with you about the power of manifestation. And it comes from a book. It's Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham. It's a very powerful book on the power of manifestation, learning to manifest your desires. And I want to talk with you about a chapter in here. Just want to read you a little bit of it to give you some clarity on manifesting. Chapter 10, it is the 3 steps to whatever you want to be, do, or have. The creative process is conceptually a simple one. It consists of just 3 steps. Step 1 is your work. You ask. Step 2, not your work. The answer is given. Step 1, you ask. Step 2, the answer is given. And step 3, the answer, which has been given, must be received or allowed. And then it says in parentheses, you have to let it in. Now it says here in parentheses next to each step, Step 1, you ask. In parentheses, it says your work. So it's something that is on you. Step 2, the answer is given, and it says in parentheses, not your work, referring to the universe. The answer is given. In step 3, the answer which has been given must be received or allowed, and that's your work. Now, step 1, it says you ask. Because of the wonderful and diverse environment in which you are focused, step 1 comes easily and automatically, for this is how your natural preferences are born. Everything from your subtle or even unconscious desires to clear, precise, vivid ones results from the contrasting experiences of your day-to-day life. Desires, or asking, are the natural byproduct of your exposure to this environment of fantastic variety and contrast. And so step 1 comes naturally, right? You're experiencing life. You're experiencing things that maybe you don't want to experience, and those desires are born in you to want to be experiencing something else. Now it says step 2, the universe answers. Right? So step 1 was your work. You ask. You've experienced life and you say, I want more money. I want this kind of car. I want this type of job, lifestyle, relationship, whatever that may be. That's your work. That's for you to decide. It's your preference. Now, step 2, the universe answers. And remember, this is not your work. Step 2 is a simple step for you. It is not your work at all. Step 2 is the work of the non-physical, the work of the God force. All things that you ask for, large and small, are immediately understood and fully offered, without exception. Every point of consciousness has the right and the ability to ask, and all points of consciousness are honored and responded to immediately. When you ask, it is given every time. Your asking is sometimes spoken with your words, but more often it emanates from you vibrationally as a constant stream of personally honed preferences, each building on the next, and each one respected and answered. Every question is answered, every desire is given, every prayer is answered, every wish is granted. But the reason that many would argue with that truth, holding up examples of unfulfilled desires from their own life experiences, is because they have not yet understood and completed the very important step 3. For without the completion of this step, the existence of steps 1 and 2 could go unnoticed. Right? So step 1 is you ask. Step 2, it's given. It may not be given instantaneously in your physical reality, but the answer is given. And she's saying in here that people who say that that's not the case are holding up examples of unfulfilled desires from their own life experiences, but that's only because they haven't understood and completed the very important step 3. Now, this is step 3. Step 3 is you allow it in. Step 3 is the application of the art of allowing. It is really the reason your guidance system exists. It is the step whereby you tune the vibrational frequency of your being to match the vibrational frequency of your desire. In the same way that your radio tuner must be set to match the frequency of the broadcasting station you desire to hear. The vibrational frequency of your being must match the frequency of your desire. The vibrational frequency of your being must match the vibrational frequency of your desire. In the same way that your radio tuner must be set to match the frequency of the broadcasting station you desire to hear, the vibrational frequency of your being must match the frequency of your desire. And we call that the art of allowing. That is, allowing what you are asking for. Unless you are in the receiving mode, your questions, even though they have been answered, will seem unanswered to you. Your prayers will not seem to be answered, and your desires will not be fulfilled. Not because your wishes have not been heard, but because your vibrations are not a match, so you are not letting them in. You see, step 3 is you allowing it in. There were a few things mentioned in here. Vibrational frequency. Now, if you're not aware, we live in a vibrational universe. Everything that you see in this physical reality is actually moving. It's moving at such a high rate of vibration that it appears to be still. But over time, it'll deteriorate. Right? Food goes bad. Iron turns to rust. A body in a coffin disintegrates to dust. Right? So everything is moving. So your vibration, your vibrational frequency must match your desire. Now, what does that mean? That means that you have to think, feel, and act as if you are already experiencing what you desire, as if you already have your desire. No longer thinking the thoughts of, I don't have it yet, or, gosh, it'll be so great when this happens. No, you have to be believing that you are experiencing it right now. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. It's not saying believe that you've received it for 24 hours and it'll be yours. It's believe that you have received it and it will be yours in a set amount of time, in a unknown amount of time. It's the law of gender. We understand when it comes to seeds, like a plant or a carrot or a child, that after this set amount of time, it'll come to fruition in this physical reality. Now, the thing is, everything that you desire will come into fruition in its own time, in its own timing. You just have to believe that you're actually experiencing it right now and continue to believe that until you do experience it right now. You have to get so lost in your imagination that you are experiencing this reality, that you are this person, for it to actually manifest in this physical reality. And yeah, that may take time. Are you expecting to have it come like that? Then you may be disappointed, because you have to allow it in. The timing is not for you to say, it's for the universe, for God. Right? Trust God's plan. So those are the 3 steps that I wanted to share with you today. Step 1 is you ask. Step 2, the answer is given. And step 3, you allow it in. Your vibrational frequency has to match what you desire. So you have to literally be living the reality that you want in your own mind. Be experiencing that right now. Yeah, you may not have the money, you may not have the car, the lifestyle, the relationship, but that doesn't mean that you can't experience it right now and believe that you're experiencing it right now. But that takes practice. That takes a strong use of your will for you to focus on that reality aside from what's going on out here in this physical reality. So it takes a lot of your attention, your will, your focus, and it takes your imagination. It takes you to be able to see that in your mind's eye and believe that you're experiencing that. So it's your will and your imagination. And it may be difficult for you right now to believe that you've already received it, but that's only because you haven't practiced it, right? How good can you be at a skill of, say, playing tennis if you've never practiced tennis before? So this is the same thing. You have to practice using your will to deny what's happening around you, to cause your thinking to go to what's happening around you, to thinking greater of what you do want to experience. You have to be in that state of mind, in that imagination, and live in that reality. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. You must imagine that you are experiencing the reality that you desire until it consumes this whole physical experience. Until you believe that you are in the house that you desire to be in. Even though you may not be in that house, but in your mind you are. And by holding to that image, to that reality, over time, it will create it in this physical reality. But most people are so used to getting something like that, going on social media, scrolling to the next post, instant hits, instant gratification. But it's really happening over time. I think that's kind of how people have lost sight of this idea of creating their experience, because they've just been conditioned to the experience of instant gratification. So they can't see how it's actually being created over time in this physical reality, because they're just so caught up on seeing it here and now and what they are aware of being able to create. Well, if I walk outside and go into the car and drive to the store, I'm already there. Why can't that happen with my other reality, with my desired reality? Well, it's because it is subject to the laws of this universe. Right? The law of gender states that all seeds have a gestation or incubation period that must elapse for it to come into this physical reality. Now we understand it with seeds, but our ideas are spiritual seeds. So believe in your idea, believe in the reality that you want, and it will come into fruition. It may not happen like that, but it will happen over time. It must happen. That's what it's saying. The universe answers. It has to answer. The answer is given. You just have to believe long enough for it to be your reality. Ask, believe, and receive. That's what it comes down to. You can be, do, or have anything that you want by those 3 steps. Ask, the universe answers, it is given, and number 3, you have to allow it in. Believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Thank you for tuning in today. That was a fun time talking about manifestation, and I will see you next episode.